Kay and Tay are one of TikTok's biggest and most contentious family channels, and one look at their history tells you exactly why. Because some of this stuff makes me wonder how they even have a career or are still together to begin with. And we're gonna go through everything, of course, starting from the very beginning to the more recent stuff. But before that, to address the elephant in the room, we're finally back home. So the setup no longer looks like a stinky, scary serial killer dungeon, but more importantly, look who's back. And he's yawning. He was napping on my lap and I've woken him up. He's not very happy about that. Oh, hi, Prince. He's out of focus, but he's loving it. Whoopsie. Prince, your foot dropped my microphone. He can go back to sleep now. I'm not going to wake him up anymore. Sorry about that, Prince. But either way, if that's not enough to convince you to subscribe, then I don't know what is. Just a friendly reminder, by the way, that we are aiming for 300,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and we are so tantalizingly close. We just need like 5,000 more in December and we're good to go. So if we don't reach it, I'm gonna show you guys hell. Anyways, let's start with Kay and Tay's older content so we can see exactly what built their media empire.
Say that again?
What?
Say what you just said?
I don't think the dishwasher's working. Unless you're not rinsing them out.
Wait,
What?
is this hurting?
No?
Is this one okay? Is this hurting?
No?
I think our dishwasher's fine then.
I don't know about you guys, but that is some side-splitting, knee-slapping comedy. I'm not even offended at the misogynistic. It just wasn't very funny. Like, it just wasn't a funny joke. It's like when trauma dumpers make jokes about their trauma at really awkward moments. Like, I don't know, they're eating some mac and cheese and they go, "Oh, this hits harder than my dad." And no one really laughs because it's like, come on, mate. Like, is this what we're really doing? And they're like, "You can laugh. It's fine. I don't mind if you laugh." And everyone sort of sat there like, you know, I would laugh if it was funny, but unfortunately, it's not. So now you've just made everyone uncomfortable and we're not even having a laugh about it. Or when people tell like racist jokes and you don't laugh because it genuinely just isn't funny at all. And then they think that the only reason you didn't laugh at their hilarious joke is because it was offensive or whatever, and you're a weak, offended sort of woke snowflake. As if it's completely inconceivable that they're just not that funny. Whatever. Long-winded rant, but that's what I'm getting at here. The joke wasn't funny. Apparently the world would disagree with me though, because this video has 2.8 million views. It's that easy, I guess. We want to look at some even older content. This person has very helpfully scrolled down to their very first video.
Tay first video, you don't have to.
This video is 90 seconds long of them just scrolling all the way down. And unfortunately, TikTok has a feature now where you can literally just go on the account and then sort by oldest. So, I mean, it looks as though they wasted their fucking time there. Sucks to be that guy, eh? Anyway, last video I'll watch of the older stuff and then we'll get into some more recent controversies, eh? Let's have a look at why they're so famous, why they have over 11 million followers.
Surprising my wife at work with a bowl of cereal.
What is this video? Like, what am I actually watching here? Surprising your wife at work with a bowl of cereal. I mean, to be fair, I guess what you see is what you get. There's no clickbait here. What is truly a video of a man surprising their wife at work with a bowl of cereal, which is probably painfully soggy by now, by the way. This is so cute and wholesome. Oh, how sweet. I don't understand. Are people actually taking this seriously? Like, they think this is an actual nice thing to do for someone? I've worked in hospitals before. I've worn those very same scrubs before. Not the exact same ones, but you know what I mean. That's not what I meant. And if I got a knock on the door and had to walk all the way downstairs because my girlfriend brought a soggy-ass bowl of cereal over halfway across the fucking city, I don't know. I wouldn't exactly be thrilled about it, but whatever. I guess it's comedy. The worst part is, judging from their most recent videos, which we'll get to, of course, it seems as though their comedy has only gotten worse. But anyway, that was all before Kay's pregnancy. Not her first pregnancy, she has had a child with another man before, but her first pregnancy with Tay. After the pregnancy, we were getting extraordinary videos like this one.
Watering.
Your mouth's watering, like a craving?
Yes. PB&J pizzas.
That's pretty weird, so like peanut butter and jelly on a pizza. I could do it.
Why would you think that? PB&J pizza. First you have the P and the B. Pineapple and bacon.
Okay. And what's the J?
Jalapenos.
And then what? You just put this on the pizza crust or no?
There's something really uncomfortable about these. I feel like I'm watching two really close family members have sex with each other in a really cramped space, no less, like a fucking car. I think that's enough of that fucking wank. We'll move on to, like, you know, the juicy stuff now.
We didn't want to spend all of the money on a wedding. We started thinking about it and we were like, you know, this is one night. We're basically paying all this money to throw this big party for everybody else when we're not even even going to probably get to sit down and eat the food or do anything, and we're going to be stressed the whole time.
So this might not seem like a big deal. Oh, what, they didn't spend too much money on their wedding, it was more of an intimate sort of thing. People, well, I guess most reasonable people would look at that and think, whatever, that's none of our business, right? Well, here's where the controversy starts, because, like I said earlier, Kay and Tay, well, not Tay, but Kay has a child outside of this marriage, right? At 18, she got married to another man, and they divorced just a year later, but within that marriage, they did have a child. And as much as they claim to have a very good relationship with this child, that child apparently never even was invited to their wedding. So I understand that having a small, intimate wedding is one thing and totally fine, but to not even invite your own daughter to the wedding is crazy to me. It's just not something you would do if you really did have a great relationship with said daughter. I say that, but she moved like 11 hours away from the home of the daughter as well when she wanted to be with Tay. Which again is confusing because again, if you had such a great relationship with this daughter, why would you move 11 hours away? Like surely you would want to be there for your fucking baby. There's a whole host of other stuff there as well, a whole custody battle between them. She's also paying a humiliatingly low amount in child support, but again, you know what, we'll get onto all that later. First of all, I feel as though we should actually have a look at their first podcast with another great pair of TikTok parents, Matt and Abby. Nothing too controversial or crazy in this podcast, but there is some important context that we need to get over to sort of set up what we talk about later. The real crazy and diabolical stuff will come soon, though. Stuff like Tay's domestic violence charge. No, not on another woman, by the way, on fucking Kay. Again, though, all of that will come later because on their second podcast with Matt and Abby, they actually address that. And it's one of the strangest videos I think I've ever seen on the internet. And my job for over a year now has been to look at strange videos online. So that's really saying something.
So I was in the Air Force and I had just got back from deployment. I had actually been there for over a year before I deployed. And I didn't meet Kay until after the deployment.
Yeah.
And so
this is them talking about their previous relationships, essentially, both Kay and Tay. Obviously, Tay is starting here, talking about, you know, his previous deployment in the Air Force. Quick spoiler alert, I guess, so apologies for anyone invested in this harrowing story so far. You know, I know it's only 13 seconds in, but he's such a fucking wordsmith, truly. He's about to detail how he was cheated on in the Air Force, which is interesting considering an allegation that has recently come up about Tay's past. We'll let the video play out.
This isn't something we've really been able to go into depth on our channel because we just post short, you know, there's not a lot of time to really go into depth. But yes, I got married at 18. I got pregnant and had my first daughter at 19. The marriage was not good. It was not compatible. We fought a lot. And when I say fight, I mean fight. It wasn't like Taylor and I's arguments.
that's why I don't like the word fight.
Yeah. Because I've lived that and I know how much harder it can be to be in that kind of relationship. But I did end up getting divorced and now we have joint custody. So yeah, that's kind of a little short. You know, he's been in her life since she was 3.
Okay, so first of all, considering this kid is very much, you know, on the internet for sure, and they've actually not been seen, like, by people, that their face isn't public, at least not in the same way Kay and Tay's other children's faces are public, and that's mainly because them, as in, you know, this initial first daughter, and as well as their father, does not want them to be in the public sphere, does not want their faces to be online. And I love that personally. I think that's fucking great, obviously. I mean, everyone who watches this channel knows that that is like the ideal way of doing things, in my opinion. I don't really have a problem with, you know, a child's face being shown every now and then, but to make that like the sole focus of your content, of your channel, I think that shit is super sketchy. Like, it's one thing if they come up organically, I think that is totally justifiable and, like, you know, reasonable, but for them to be the entire center, the entire point of your brand is way too far, especially with, you know, the kinds of people we know are on the internet, as well as obviously, you know, the inability for those kids to consent, blah blah blah. We've gone through this tirade hundreds of times on this channel, it feels. But with all that being said, I feel as though sort of airing out all this dirty laundry about how horrible this relationship was and how he used to fight you and, like, seriously fight you, whilst this kid is still about, and how, you know, with how public everything is, people know about these court filings, the custody battle, I'm just not sure making all of this sort of drama within your relationship public is a great idea, especially because a lot of people are speculating with pretty nasty amounts of evidence that, like, it's sort of not accurate the way she portrays this relationship. I don't say that the evidence is sort of conclusive or anything like that because there isn't anything solid I've been able to find, but a lot of people have been making the claim that the first marriage ended because she actually cheated on that husband. So maybe whilst there was fights or whatever, the source, would definitely explain why that father has most of the custody like surrounding the child. Pretty much all of the custody, I think now. As in, you know, they still live together. I think Kay only sees the kid twice a month or something like that. But again, a lot of that is alleged, so sort of make of it what you will.
She doesn't know life without Taylor. She's very close to Taylor. I mean, he's like the play parent. He's sat in the floor and played Barbies with her, and he's just so hands-on with her, and they're very close. In fact, I would say like he is one of her best friends. Aww. I mean, you wrote her a card one year for her birthday, and it was like, I think this was actually 2022 because it was at my Gigi's house when she had cancer. So yeah, it was that birthday. But he wrote her a card, and it was like, thank you for being my best friend. And it was like made me cry.
That's precious.
But they are very close, and I'm so thankful because he didn't have to take that on, and he did, even though I had a lot of baggage. This is the sensitive side of me that's coming out, and I shouldn't.
And see, that is where people have a bit more of a problem, because if all of that is true, if they really do have this great relationship, why was she not even invited to your wedding? Like, if they're best friends, that's just crazy to me. Why would you move 11 hours away? They obviously lived in one state initially, and then I guess for the influencer career, they wanted to move to a more, I don't know, one more suitable. But the thing with being an influencer, one of the best parts about that job is that you don't actually need to stay in one place or be in a specific place. Like, if your child is in a certain state and you are an influencer who can work from virtually anywhere, surely the best thing to do, especially if you have this great relationship with said child, you're best friends with them, is to stay with the child and do your influencer career. Maybe not in the same household if you have, you know, joint custody, you don't live together anymore, but at least in the same fucking state, at least not 11 hours away. Anyway, finally we'll go over Tay talking about how he got cheated on.
I found out from her initially. She like texted me and she was like, I guess it had already gotten out.
How long had you been married at this point?
About a year.
Okay.
Yeah. About a year.
And you're just like 20 years old.
She texted you that she was pregnant?
She was like, you're gonna hear about it, essentially. And like that, she basically went into detail about what happened. And she's like, you're probably gonna hear about it because it had already spread back in the States. But everyone was like, don't tell Dudley. Like, we gotta figure out how to tell him.
Once it was like official, I posted a Man Crush Monday, and like I just remember her sister commenting on my Instagram post and tagging her in it. Oh. And she was like, isn't this your man? And mind you, she was like 9 months pregnant at the time with somebody else's child.
Oh my God.
And I did not say anything because I felt like I didn't want to like lower myself to their standards.
Yeah.
But clearly she was not his man anymore, and she lost that privilege when she did what she did. So I just didn't say anything, and I just deleted the comment. But I'll never forget that, because I just feel like the beginning of our relationship, from both sides, we had so much going against us. It's funny because like I see a lot of people saying like, oh, they just post fetish content.
So there you go. It's only really interesting, the whole cheating story, because first of all, Americans marry very young. Like these stories, 19, 20, I think they married at 18, Kay and her ex got. Now the cheating story is only really that interesting because it's sort of, if the story about Kay cheating on her ex-husband is true, it feels as though, I don't know, maybe they're both true. Or maybe the one about Kay is total bollocks. Like, I guess we don't really know. Yeah, you got comments here on the Instagram. Kay and Tay may be heading back to the Unplanned podcast to explain why Kay cheated on her military husband. Now, this is on fucking Reddit, probably a snark page, I'm guessing. And the subtext is she is deleting comments on Instagram, which, like, I mean, yeah, fucking obviously. Why would they keep that comment up? I mean, look, the more I actually talk about this, I think the only piece of evidence that that she actually cheated on her ex-husband is a video from the Dad Challenge podcast. I think he's done good work before, actually, so I'm not going to immediately discredit it. Let's actually have a look at what he has to say.
Because Kay actually cheated on her first husband when he was deployed. Okay? Is there anything more disgusting than a wife who sits at home while their husband is deployed, risking his life for his country and could die at any moment, and is over there paying the bills and doing everything, and she cheats on him?
Yeah, I mean, it happens to Tay as well, so pretty bad, eh? I could think of a few things more disgusting, though, like maybe, you know, murdering their entire family. That wouldn't be great. I'd rather get cheated on than my whole family get murdered. So I'm being pedantic. Obviously, I get what he's trying to say there. Let's watch, eh? Because this is a really big accusation for a family channel, especially, whose whole brand is based upon their relationship being, like, incredibly healthy and them being great partners. I guess for a regular influencer, this accusation would be nowhere near as damaging.
It is absolutely disgusting what she has done. And it gets worse. It was also known as the base bicycle. I made that term up myself, but there's other terms that she has been known by. She hasn't just cheated with one person. She's cheated with multiple people. She cheated on her ex more than once. And so again, we're alleging this, okay? So she gets pregnant while she's out living her thought life on these bases. And she wants to go get a termination done. Okay? For whatever you believe in that, it doesn't really matter. And so allegedly she called multiple people to take her to a clinic to get a termination because obviously her husband at the time likely refused to take her.
I'm a little confused here. Like, I'm hearing the accusations, he's saying it's alleged, but I'm not actually seeing any of the evidence for them. Where is he getting, he's reading off of something. Where is he getting this from?
I'm just telling you that she has nobody that will help her in her most dire straits because she has burned every bridge that she has ever had. She has cheated likely on every person she's ever been with, and maybe even Taylor. It cannot be stipulated enough that she cheated on her husband while he was deployed. This person who's out there cutesy nostrils on TikTok being like, oh, thanks for the candle. She cheated on her military husband while he's deployed. I know I keep saying it, you get annoyed. I gotta keep saying it. It's one of the most disgusting things you can do. Then gets pregnant, then gets a termination. That's who Kay really is. She's the base bicycle. She's a piece of shit through and through 100%. And it's all going to come out eventually. And again, these are the things that I have. This is the arsenal that I have to combat child exploiters. These people make all of their money by exploiting a child that is innocent, that cannot give informed consent, and it's all going to come out.
Yeah, exploiting the children, innocent, no informed consent, that's obviously grim. I agree with that. This base bicycle thing and her cheating on... I really want to know what he's... What the evidence is here. It's gotta be somewhere in this video, right? Surely. I'm actually gonna have to watch this whole video now because I really want to know where he's getting this from.
Everything you hear here is alleged. I am never going to give up my sources, ever. So everything you hear, you must take with a grain of salt. You can believe it or not believe it. It is all alleged and cannot be corroborated.
I'm sorry. What are we doing here? So you can't just make huge accusations like that and provide no evidence or source. I'm sorry. Like, I know we've done similar videos before. We've done content on similar people. I know we have a lot of like overlapping fans. I remember I was a little bit critical of the Dad Challenge podcast regarding his coverage of Chris the Solo Dad a while back as well. As much as I thought he was doing, you know, some good work there, I was a little bit critical of his coverage of his wife, of airing her face out there when she hasn't given consent either, and we don't know what's going on there at all. But I don't know, man. Like, if you are completely unwilling to show any evidence for the claims that you are making, especially when the claims are this career ruining, especially when the claims are what you are basing your opinions of said person to be, when you're calling a woman a piece of shit, disgusting, like these very strong terms, and you have no evidence to back it up that you're willing to show people, it's a bit far-fetched in my opinion. I'm not on that. I don't like that. I really don't appreciate that. I don't think it's appropriate. Because people will just believe it a lot of the time. It does not take evidence for the internet to believe something. I know that better than fucking anyone. Imagine if I called an influencer out for, like, you know, grooming someone, for example, but it was okay because I said, you don't need to believe me. I've got no evidence for it. Well, I do, but it's an anonymous source. I don't want to show you guys, but this person has groomed someone and they're a piece of shit for doing it. I'm not going to show you anything though, but they are a groomer. Like, they are. You don't need to believe me though, so before you come at me saying that I have no, I'm saying it right here, you do not need to believe me. You know, that is completely your prerogative. I've done no right. It's like, no... I'm not on this. I don't like this at all. I almost feel bad for peddling that she might have cheated on her husband to begin this video off of because I had no idea that the evidence and that the initial claim was this week and from this video only. There's plenty to criticize this family for that is public, right? We do not need to make shit up. I mean, maybe it's not made up. There is a chance of that, but like, I'm sorry, this just isn't appropriate in my opinion. Speaking of information about them that is public, that should be talked about, and, you know, is actually, like, true. We've got Tay's domestic violence charge. I'll show you all a wee quick TikTok explaining said domestic violence charge before we go into further detail.
Taylor and Kay's DV court documents were just leaked, and not Taylor smiling in his mugshot. And this whole thing is crazy because Kay and Tay are pretty known on TikTok for promoting happy and healthy relationships. But back in 2019, Taylor was arrested for DV on his wife, Kay. What's so crazy is that Kay is defending Taylor. So he was arrested in Alabama, and this was towards Kay for throwing the victim down on the bed, then the floor, then the bed again, and pinned her down, making her fear for her safety. And Kay took it to the comments on other creator videos to defend Tay, saying that the court documents were leaked by a police officer illegally. These documents are not leaked by a police officer. This information is public.
Yeah, that's true. Like, police have not fucking leaked anything illegal. It's completely legal and normal for things like this to be public. It's just different when you're, you know, influencers, because a lot of people are going to be looking at them. Okay, as you can see, we've got everything right here. Taylor Daniel Dudley, as you can see, he's one of them fucking freaks, sociopaths that smiles in his mugshot. Come on now, it's fucking 7:30 a.m. No one is happy that early in the morning, especially influencers, you know? I know how late a lot of us wake up. That cannot be a happy time. To be clear, they were not influencers at this point, you know, they were a lot more normal. He was in the military, he was probably used to waking up that early as well, so fuck a doodle do, I guess. Really not the point of contention that we should be focusing on here, so my bad for that. And then you've got the attempt/commit, and it has been labeled as commit, right? This was not just an attempt, it was a committed domestic violence charge. Got some more information there. I'm not gonna read everything, obviously, but you're more than happy to. You're more than I don't mean to tell you how you feel, I'm just, talking weird. You are more than welcome to. There you go. In fact, I'll just put all of the information on screen right now. Naz will just put each page on screen for a little bit of time. I'm not gonna read everything, but if you want to read it all, then you're more than welcome to. I think he only needed to pay $300 based on this page here, I guess, as a fine for the domestic violence. I don't understand though, because wouldn't that money be going to her? Oh no, he's paying to the state of Alabama. What the fuck does that do for anyone? I don't know, whatever. It's legally confusing. I'm not a fucking American lawyer. We're not gonna go into all the ins and outs. What's important is what actually happened. Here's the order dismissing the case, however. But important here, the victim, Kaylee Dudley, was present and advised the court the case was due to be dismissed for want of prosecution. So this never actually really went through or became anything huge. So here we go. Here are the details of the arrest. He threw her down on the bed and then to the floor, then put her on the bed and pinned her down while she feared for her safety. Yeah, I mean, throwing your girlfriend down to the fucking hard floor, pinning them to the point where they're fearing for their safety and call the police, and you genuinely actually get charged for domestic violence. This was not like a light thing that happened here. They weren't play fighting. Tay took the fall for something he didn't do. I am so proud of him to this day for his selflessness. He was not charged with abuse, he was charged with harassment, which was completely dismissed and dropped the very next day because he was innocent. Please stop spreading false narratives and lies. He's an amazing person who does not deserve what that nasty man said about him. What do you mean he took the fall? Like, what? Who was he taking the fall from? Why would you be proud of them for taking the fall for a domestic violence charge that they didn't do? Oh, sorry, it wasn't a domestic violence charge, it was a harassment charge. Never mind the court document where the charge is described as domestic violence 3rd degree. Like, yeah, the word harassment is on there, but the word domestic violence is also on there. So it's just as much domestic violence as it is fucking harassment. Also, booking date, the 27th of January, 2019. And then the dismissal date was the 11th of April, 2019? That doesn't exactly sound as though it was dismissed and dropped the very next day. That's like 4 fucking months apart. Interestingly, however, they actually discussed this on the second podcast with Matt and Abby, which I feel like we should watch right about now.
The whole story in question, it happened 5.5 years ago on my birthday.
On your birthday?
On my birthday. Just being fully transparent, that night we were drinking wine and playing Minecraft. And we used to call it Winecraft. That was something that we used to do.
It was like a game.
It was just like a little,
really fun.
It was just a fun game. And that was what I wanted to do for my birthday. And so we drank wine. And I know I've spoken about my autoimmune journey a few times and how it's been about 5 years. Well, that was right around the time that I first started taking medication, prescription medication for the autoimmune problems that I was having. And so I had been on a new medication for about a week and I had never drank with that medication before. And my doctor didn't tell me not to drink with it. And I think in hindsight, I probably should have maybe made sure. But at the time, I just took my medication before bed like normal. And we went to bed. And then I woke up maybe 2-3 hours later, and I was completely confused. I didn't understand what I was doing. I didn't understand that I hadn't celebrated my birthday. I thought that we hadn't celebrated yet, and I wanted to leave. I was trying to drive and leave the house, and Taylor obviously could tell that I was having like a medical emergency. I wasn't acting myself, and he was trying to keep me on the bed, keep me from leaving.
I was also confused because we had just woken up in the middle of the night.
Yeah,
too.
He was probably thinking,
was just like,
what is going on?
Digging for her keys, and I'm like, what is going on?
Wait, can we go back just a minute? So, were you guys drunk this night, or was
we
it?
hadn't drank more than any other time, like
No.
playing Minecraft and drinking wine. Like I
mean,
think we split one bottle of wine.
I remember going to bed.
I have a feeling, by the way, that when these charges came out, they probably contacted Matt and Abby and were like, look, can you help us out for like damage control here? As one of the most popular and liked family channels on the internet. Probably one of the most moral as well. Like, they don't show any of their children. There isn't that much controversy. Well, there is a lot of controversy, but it's quite tame. Like, they haven't actually ever done anything, evil or like piece of shit. They're just sort of funny and cringe, if that makes sense. So if there ever was a family channel to help, I guess, redeem you or build your career back up after a demonstrable fuck up like a domestic violence charge being leaked, then they're the people to talk to. Anyway, we're at the part in the story where she's grossly inebriated and doesn't know what the fuck's going on, has woken up in the middle of the night thinking they haven't celebrated the birthday yet. Let's see what happens next.
Were you living together at the time?
We were married. We were living together.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
But there were no children at home. Kinsley was with her father at the time. So it was just us at the house, and we went to bed like normal. And
this was 2 to 3 hours later you woke up.
Yeah.
And you thought you needed to leave the house, or?
She was just like ready to celebrate.
I was just ready to celebrate my birthday, and I didn't understand that we had already celebrated my birthday, and like we went to bed. And he was trying to explain that to me, and I was trying to leave the house. He had to at one point hide the keys from me. I was falling off the bed, trying to get out. I was stumbling around. He was trying to carry me, put me back on the bed. And I think at the time I was mad because Taylor didn't want to celebrate my birthday with me. And I thought, well, we haven't celebrated yet. And he was like, well, we did. We need to get back in bed, because he knew that if I left, I would hurt myself driving a car or hurt somebody else. So basically it ended where I said, I'm gonna call the cops if you don't let me leave. And in his mind, he's like, okay, call the cops. Maybe they'll come and help you. Like, he wanted them to come because he wanted them to help me. He said, you're having a medical emergency. Something's not right. Like, we were not drunk. There was no reason that I should have been acting like that. So
you're thinking it was the combination of the medication and the alcohol?
Well, it was confirmed later that it was based on my symptoms by my doctor. She was like, yeah, you were not supposed to drink with that medication. I didn't know that, and obviously never drink with it again. But at the time, I just took my medication like normal and I went to bed.
The best way I can describe it is like if you've ever seen someone with dementia and they're like fully convinced that like they don't live there, or maybe they don't know who their caregiver is, and they're like fully convinced. Like, that's what it seemed like with Kay. She was fully convinced that she hadn't celebrated her birthday yet and that we needed to go and do something. And it's like she couldn't grasp that it was in the middle of the night, and she couldn't grasp that it was just so
What
weird.
time was this at?
I don't remember the exact time. It had to be like 3, 4 in the morning.
This is fucking crazy, and it is, you know, a somewhat convenient excuse for a domestic violence charge that definitely does look like a huge blip towards your character and perfectness as a couple, which is obviously what your brand is based upon. If it was a genuinely, you know, horrific and violent situation where he was this actual piece of shit, it is very possible that they just made up this story for damage control later and that they get on now. Or maybe they don't get on, and behind the scenes he's a lot more controlling than we actually know. This is the thing, we genuinely have no idea. Maybe they are totally happy just making their content and exploiting their children for views and money on TikTok. Maybe their relationship isn't as distraught as a lot of people are making it out to be. Maybe they are being honest with their story, but maybe it's a bunch of bullshit. There are a couple things that I feel as though I need to point out here that, like, I feel as though sort of hurt the credibility of this story.
So you get on the phone with the police, and what do you tell them?
I think I just told him something like, I'm not allowed to leave my house. I need you to come. Let me leave my house. I need you to come. And I don't.
Did you hear this phone call?
Yeah, I didn't talk to him, but I was just sitting there.
Yeah, and I mean, at the time, like, he would have no reason to think that he should not be there or be scared of the cops coming. Like, he actually was like, I'm glad they're coming. I'm glad they can handle the situation.
Yeah.
So
in my mind, they were going to tell Kay, hey,
Yeah.
you can't drive. Like, duh. And then Kay was going to be like, okay. Or maybe at that point she would be good. And you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it doesn't sound like the most unbelievable story in the world. Like, him waiting by the sides for the police to come so that he can calmly explain it to them, it is believable. But that might be why it's so smart if they did genuinely make it up. Like, if it is fake, it is a very well curated story. I guess so far, the only blip would be like a fucking combination of alcohol, very little alcohol according to them, and medication can cause this sort of reaction. This, like, insane reaction in someone. Because this is fucking insane, like the amount of delusion that she was allegedly experiencing. There's another big thing that I want to talk about in a second, and a big question that they do not address, obviously, but we'll let them talk out a bit more.
the only thing I can say is that I wasn't myself. I've never been like that, and I've never been like that since. But basically, the events that happened after, or the cops finally showed up after like 30 minutes.
We live in the middle of nowhere.
And they were all, I remember being super nice, and they separated us, obviously, and wanted to question us. And in my opinion, I don't think I should have been formally interviewed in the state that I was in.
Do you mind me asking, in that 20 to 30 minutes where you're waiting on the cops, what's the scene like inside the house?
It's basically calmed down at that point, and Kay's just sitting there.
I was just waiting on the cops together.
Kay thought she was right to drive. I thought she wasn't right to drive, and the police were going to be that deciding factor.
And then when they got there, they separated us. They questioned both of us. I don't know exactly what they said to you.
We were chatting about the most random stuff. Like, I gave them the initial like rundown, like, yeah, she's not making a lot of sense. Like, she wants to leave. I was trying to tell her not to drive, and then we ended up talking about like a deer that got caught on the guy's camera.
Yeah,
it was just so chill. Like, we were just chatting.
You know what, I believe that as well, to be fair. Sometimes police are fucking mental with what they choose to talk to you about. I remember one time there was like a murder outside my house when I was younger, which actually happened quite a lot. It was not a great area. And because my house was like the only one that had cameras, which my dad installed because he was fucking worried and scared for our lives, the police come by, obviously asking about the murder, wanting to see the camera footage, and in the middle of it, I was the only one home at the time, and we start talking about it. I'm trying to help them, obviously, as much as I can, and then he just goes like, oh, where are you going for uni, mate? And I'm like, Glasgow? I'm like, okay, fair enough, a bit of small talk, I guess. And then he just goes like, the girls in Glasgow are fucking mint, isn't they? And I was like, you know, human life has just been lost here. It's a bit of a strange segue into a conversation when, you know, this is I don't know, it took me off guard. I was not a fan of it exactly. He was right though. The girls here are pretty cool.
And then the other cop was asking me questions like, do you feel like you're unsafe here? Do you feel, and of course at the time I'm like, yes, I need to leave this house. I should not have been questioned in that condition ever. And I don't understand to this day why medical personnel were not called to make sure I was okay, because he was even telling them, like, we weren't drunk. Like, what happened? Like, from the time we went to bed, she was normal.
Yeah, it's almost as though they're lying about it a little bit, especially because, like, this is a long stretch of time here that this has been going on for. If it was such little alcohol and a normal amount of medication or whatever, the fact that it would last this long and she would be so hell-bent on this story, on this mentality of I need to drive, we've not celebrated the birthday, and not snap out of it for like hours, it seems. I don't know, man. Believable, maybe. Unbelievable. I'm not going to say anything for sure because we really don't know, but the one thing I am concerned about is the fucking mugshot. Like, that is the detail here that I feel as though needs explained the most. We'll let them talk it out a bit longer, because the more they talk, the more, or I guess the less sense that mugshot makes.
The bail money, and I bailed him out the next day. If he was doing something to hurt me, I would not be allowed to bail him out legally. I would have had to remain separated from him until the court hearing. That's the way the law works. I would not have been allowed to pick him up. I feel like in their eyes, they were probably just chalking it up to while they were drinking. They didn't look any more into it. And it wasn't until I went to the doctor, like, I don't know, a week or so later.
But here's the thing, if this had all happened, and like, he's just been fucking arrested for a false accusation of domestic violence, he's being taken into the police station for all this shit, it's like, why would he be smiling during the mugshot? Surely you would be distraught, you would be fucking irate that you are being accused of beating your fucking wife and falsely arrested for it. I just don't get it. Why was he smiling in the mugshot? Did he genuinely think it was all hunky-dory and that him and the police officers were just that close, that tight, that friendly, that it was just a fun night out almost?
I was so upset that they took him away. Like, I was devastated, and I could not understand why they took him. I was making phone calls. I was like, how can I come get him? I called him. I was like, I need to bail you out. They said I have to pay this or whatever. And I just remember being so upset and distraught that that had happened.
Because I don't think your idea in calling the police was
to ever get him in
it was like,
trouble.
let's get answers to this question of whether or not Kay can leave. Like, this was this big question in the air. And so when they showed up and they're like, yeah, we're going to separate you, Kay's like, why?
But apparently we misunderstood, and we didn't have the $3,000.
Yeah, it like cost $3,000 to like get it all cleared up, but we didn't have the money.
So it never got expunged. They gave you the charge that they gave him.
It was like a harassment.
Was a harassment.
Like the lowest one they can give.
You mentioned like this happening because I thought like I truly thought something was like wrong with my brain because I didn't understand in the same way that he understood that night. Like, it didn't make sense. But apparently we misunderstood, and we didn't have the $3,000.
Yeah, it like cost $3,000 to like get it all cleared up, but we didn't have the money.
So we thought it was like wiped from the record because he was found innocent and it was all dismissed. But apparently we misunderstood, and we didn't have the $3,000.
Yeah, it like cost $3,000 to like get it all cleared up, but we didn't have the money.
So it never got expunged. They gave you.
Okay, so apparently it cost $3,000 to clear everything from the internet. Maybe, if I'm understanding that correctly. Like, at the end of the day, I understand that alcohol, whether it be a small amount plus medication for certain illnesses and stuff, can exacerbate, can, I don't know, what's an easier word that my fucking stutter won't get the better of me over, can increase the almost short-term dementia and sedative effects of said alcohol to a point where something like this is possible. But for her to not even look drunk whilst it was all happening, like talking and acting completely normally, not slurring over her words, not acting in a manner that would display that she was drunk or inebriated on fucking anything, it is a little difficult to believe. Like, there are parts of this that are easier to believe. Those two things combined are very bad and can cause like short-term memory loss for, you know, a period of time, but it is also likely, or like most likely, that you would act and look drunk, like you would look as though something is wrong with you whilst that was all happening. It's pretty difficult to believe that she just looked normal, as though she was on nothing during that whole process. At the end of the day, though, I do suppose these are two grown adults. There is a chance the story is real, if maybe some of it dramatized or, I guess, made, like, exaggerated for the purpose of damage control. Maybe it's not as far-fetched and horrific as a lot of people are initially claiming it to be. I am not here to claim that it is anything definitive, because at the end of the day, we weren't there, and we have the supposed victim of the whole story right there saying point blank nothing went wrong. A lot of people might have, you know, very, I guess, justified reason to say that she's lying and that he's controlling and that it's all bollocks to maybe satiate the very clean and child-friendly brand that they've created. So she has every reason to lie if it is false to maintain this career. However, in my opinion, that is just not enough basis to completely deny vehemently and confidently that any part of this story is true. We will listen to the rest of the story, but I'm just here to, you know, make it clear that I'm not saying anything definitive either which way. I'm showing you guys the evidence, I'm showing you guys the court case, I'm showing you everything here. You guys can make your own mind up. In my opinion, it definitely doesn't look good, and I definitely don't think Tay is as innocent as they're making it out to be in this story here. However, I'm also willing to believe that he's not as much of a piece of shit as many many on the internet are painting him out to be either. At least in relation to this whole domestic violence case, if that makes sense.
The charge that they gave him
was like a harassment
was
charge.
a harassment
It's like the lowest one they can give.
You have to, when you get charged with, like, when they come out to a call like that, it's automatically going to be a DV charge because we're domestic. We're
If we weren't married, and
If we weren't
actually was
married,
random, it wouldn't be a domestic charge. It
if
would
we were
just be the same
friends,
charge without it.
right? But it has to be considered a DV charge, and it was the lowest charge they could give him, essentially, because they were like, we have to take you in, so we have to charge you with something, and they give him a harassment charge. It's not an abuse charge. They didn't believe he abused me. They didn't believe he hit me.
Yeah, I mean, you can see domestic violence 3rd degree and then sort of a dash harassment. So to me, that seems as though domestic violence 3rd degree is like a category, and then under the category, there's a bunch of like different things that you can assign to it. So there's harassment, maybe assault is one of them. It does say that it was committed and not attempted though, so it's not the lowest charge possible. Again, definitely some sort of mistrust or some half-truths being told to us here, or just straight up lies, depending on who you are.
Yeah, anyway, so I get there and we're like, they're all like laughing and stuff, and like it was just the most chill thing. The guy, like, he was like, hey, make sure, like, wear socks, wear this other stuff, because you know, you have to change in like jail clothes and stuff. And he's like, dude, wear all your shirts and stuff because it'll be cold. Like, don't take off your shirt, like put that underneath. And he was like giving me advice and stuff, you know, the cop was. And yeah, I mean, it was just, yeah, I think I got a lot of hate online because when I took the mugshot photo, I smiled, and I'm like, I don't know, like, I've never been to jail.
He's the kind of person that laughs in the worst situation. Like, if he's feeling awkward or uncomfortable, he laughs. Like, that's just how he is.
This is really weird, man. Like, you've just been fucking arrested. You are gonna have to spend the night in jail. You've been taken away from your wife for like a week. It doesn't seem like a very happy or enthusiastic situation. Like, surely you would be a bit more distraught. Like, if I was him, I wouldn't give a fuck if the police officers were being nice or laughing about it. I'd be sat there like, what the fuck is going on? Nothing happened. I've done nothing wrong. Why am I being fucking arrested? You idiots. Like, how can you be so happy-go-lucky the whole time? This is fucking, like, the injustice is crazy if this is true. For you to just, like, sit there and take it and not even speak up or, like, be opposed to it once? Mental to me.
Anytime anyone's taking my picture since birth, they're like, smile for the camera, you know? So it's like,
how does this mugshot surface 5.5 years later? Like, why now? Why randomly? Like, you guys have been doing social media, what, 2 or 3 years? Like, why randomly now in 2024, 5.5 years later, are people seeing this mugshot of you?
We can't really go into the details. Like, we
For
know
legal reasons?
someone in her life leaked it, and we know, and like without a doubt, know.
We have proof.
But yeah, we can't go into it. But it was just to make Kay hurt,
just to hurt me. I mean, it's been that way for a long time.
How does that affect your mental health?
It sucks.
It hurts a lot to know that this individual hates me so much.
Blah, 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 mental health, whatever. We can skip past this bit and move on to the next controversy about Kay and Tay.
That image, that database doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Really?
That database stopped existing in 2019. So the person that got that screenshot that's being leaked right now in 2024 had to have obtained that screenshot in 2019 when the incident happened.
But even the charge and everything, it was never brought up when I got a job.
Yeah.
Why is the database gone? Like, why did it just
they
disappear?
remade
well, funny
it.
enough,
I worked
he
on it in
worked on the
college.
new database
But I
in
didn't do
college.
it. No, but-
We found this out after all this was leaked and we were doing all our research. We were like, this database doesn't even exist
Like,
anymore.
this looks so familiar.
And he's like, wait, this is the new database. And he's like, I worked on this in college.
Yeah, we like did a thing with Jefferson County, and I worked on the
police
database.
department. Yeah. And that's why in the past, like, we misunderstood.
Look, I was gonna move on, but I mean, the plot does fucking thicken. I'll give him that. Like, I don't know. Definitely, I stick to what I said before. He's probably not as innocent as he's being made out to be here, but I don't think he's as guilty as, you know, a lot of people are claiming either. Which I know is like a super milquetoast sort of vanilla on the fence take, but fuck you, I really do believe it. If you disagree with me, feel free to tell me why. Now, as always, I'm open to that conversation. I don't think it's necessary though to describe or, you know, show you all how much of a strange and grim couple they are though online, because there's a lot of other stuff which we do know to absolutely be true that is also very uncomfortable. So we'll move on from this to a far less dire topic, but something still, you know, uncomfortable and weird. The fetishization, alleged fetishization of Kay. Or, you know, at worst, it's fetishization, and at best, it is just, you know, really weird, cringy infantilization. I'll show you a couple of the videos, and you'll know immediately what I'm talking about.
How are you feeling?
Emotional.
Why?
That's the thing. I don't even know why I'm emotional.
You have cried a lot today.
I cried in the drive-thru line.
Why'd you cry in the drive-thru?
Because she's still head up. It should be like instinctual for them to want to be head down at this point. So why is she not doing it? I feel like I'm doing something wrong.
I don't think you could do anything else, sweetie. You gave her plenty of room.
That's not funny.
Sweetie, you're doing so good. There's nothing else you could do.
I'm not 36 weeks yet, so I shouldn't be stressed about it, and I shouldn't care. I'm having back pain. When I stand, it hurts. When I lay, it hurts. I don't sleep anymore. I'm not sleeping. My body just made me forget everything.
About pregnancy?
I didn't remember how bad it can be at the end. I don't understand why my brain makes me think that I have to have all these things done before we bring the baby home, as if she's gonna be judging the dust boards.
What What's a dustboard?
The baseboards with dust on them. When I'm done crying, then I can just go to bed or something. But I won't sleep. I feel guilty for even crying because I know I'm so blessed and I'm so happy, but I'm still sad about it.
This one here isn't actually that bad in my opinion. Like, you know, pregnancy hormones and that, it's very possible that this is, you know, a relatively real reaction. Playing it up a little bit for the camera maybe. I'm not a fan of the fucking weird baby voices. It's like, keep that shit to yourself. But this one's not too bad. But on the Reddit, it's being titled as pandering to the fetish crowd with the little girl acting. I'm not sure about that in this case here. I think that's a wild accusation for this video. It's fucking weird and cringy and infantilizing, sure, but pandering to the fetish crowd, not too sure about that one, buddy.
What?
Mm-hmm. And once you got pregnant, all I could think about was, I gotta get her to Hawaii before the baby's born. And so we're gonna have a baby moon in Hawaii in 2 weeks. I've already booked the flights and I've already booked the hotel. And I really looked, because I know you're particular, so I've been looking.
Are you joking?
I'm serious.
You're serious. It's not prank. You're not pranking.
I'm not pranking you, sweetie. I would never prank you with something like this.
We get a baby moon?
We get a baby moon.
Where do we go?
In 2 weeks.
So I guess like he is acting like a wee baby bird, to be fair. Like that is bang on. But the thing that I don't like with all these fucking influencers, I don't think this makes them evil necessarily or even like pandering to fetish crowds. Again, it's definitely weird, it's definitely cringe, it's definitely infantilizing, but fetish, again, I'm not sure. But I will say, I don't like how all these fucking family influencers, it's almost as though there is a camera right in front of your fucking face recording you doing this whole thing. Like, is it invisible now? Can you not see it? And obviously you can see it looking right at it. So I don't know why they're acting as though this is like a normal family talk between two partners when it's the most obvious staged bollocks on the fucking planet. That's the thing that bothers me, is like, it would be one thing if this was an obviously organic reaction. At least, you know, hide the camera like a shit prank video from 2015 or something. Because it is a childish reaction. I understand there are, you know, some women who react that way. There are just, you know, maybe she's just full of spunk and has some strange personality. But like, no, this is the reaction that they planned. This is like the pre-planned reaction to the video for their Instagram that, once again, they planned. It's not like a natural thing that she's reacting to this with. I'm like, okay, this is the part where you shake your hand like a fucking baby bird. And then here's the part where you talk like a fucking 5-year-old about how excited you are. And then here's the part where I talk to you like you're a fucking puppy. Oh, this one is the worst one, by the way. This is like, honestly, brace yourselves, this is the worst reel in human fucking history. Meeting our New York City friends for the first time, and my wife did this.
I feel like we didn't make a good first impression. What do you mean? Like, I didn't feel like we weren't relating to each other. They're New Yorkers, and I'm like Southerner. I want to do it again. Let's start over.
The first impression?
Yes.
You can't redo that.
It's like, see, they're laughing at me. Let's try again.
Oh, you silly sausage, you can't redo a first fucking impression, you silly fucking idiot! Sorry, I scared Prince with that as well. Would have been better if the video just went like that. Just goes fucking super, like, mask-off, fucking crazy goblin mode. That'd make a great, like, April Fool's video. Now, obviously, that would be very horrible and not funny, but, you know, fucking whatever. It would probably be easier to watch than whatever the fuck this is, to be fair. Oh, you silly, we can't do first impressions again. Why would you say something so silly and quirky out of nowhere? It's like, fuck you! This is the worst script I've ever seen. I feel like I'm watching a Tommy Wiseau movie.
Try what again?
Watch me.
What?
I'm walking here.
What? Sweetie, that was not good.
Seriously?
You can't just say I'm walking here.
I thought it'd be funny.
No, no one says that.
They didn't laugh.
No.
Okay, wait. I have a better idea.
Okay.
Watch. I like Elle's apartment.
Oh, thanks.
It kind of reminds me of Friends.
Okay, yeah, I see that.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna pause the video, actually, because it's just too much to handle in one sitting, so I'll pause it. All right, you can keep watching it now. Just, you know, we need to take wee breaks every now and then to refresh the mind.
It's cute.
Who are you?
I'm Rachel.
Okay, Monica.
Monica Chandler.
Okay. I usually get Ross, but yeah, Chandler, I can see that.
Ross.
Yeah.
I was thinking Tay was more of a Ross.
Yeah.
Y'all can share.
Uh-huh.
I can see Ross.
Well, we could be brothers.
That's true. That's true. Do you have some bagels and Shamir? Why don't they have bagels and Shamir?
Anyone who watches this video and like actually laughs with them unironically and finds this like genuinely funny, you deserve bad things. to happen to you and the people you love and your hamster if you have one. If I hear any of you chuckle to this video, I will hear it. Like, I will hear it. If anyone watching this video finds this video to be funny, I'm gonna break into your house and I'm gonna fucking stamp on your hamster with a nice pair of Doc Martens. Your hamster dead, and you'll have no idea who did it. All you'll see is the print of a Doc Marten, so you'll think it was some like alt indie person, not the blandly dressed commentary YouTuber with no drip.
That was so embarrassing.
Yeah, okay. I think we just wash it and we just...
I have a better idea.
No.
One more idea.
I don't...
Please, watch. So how about that Yankees play yesterday?
I don't think the season's even started. So.
Sure it did.
Nope,
I don't think so.
it hasn't.
These New Yorkers are worse actors than... I can't think of anyone who's even comparable to them. This is like sub-porno acting, honestly. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if that's what this fucking video became. Like, why did he jump so much there? There was nothing scary. Look at this.
So how about that Yankees play yesterday?
Oh! Oh! Fuck! The 4-foot fuck-all lady came up to me and asked me a question about a sport or something. I don't know about you, but that warrants a— Whoa! Oh, fuck! Shit! Sorry, fuck, you just really... triggered my central nervous system there. And my cranium is just firing on all cylinders at the minute. Fuck me, that was just terrifying. Sorry, I keep waking Prince up, by the way. Anyways, let's have a look at this custody battle now, eh? Imagine going online acting like you're such a good mum to the child that you never cared for. Parties entered a decree of dissolution of marriage awarding the parties joint custody with petitioner/father as primary physical custodian of the minor child, subject to respondent/mother's award of standard visitation every other weekend, even at the time of the entry of the decree. Parties both lived within the same proximity and the father was the primary caretaker of the minor child. Now, for a man to receive, like, primary custody over a child in Oklahoma, of all states, that really does say something. And I don't mean that in the stereotypical sense of like, oh, divorce courts and like custody battles are so in favor of women. I actually don't believe that. I think that the preferential treatment that women are supposedly given during custody battles like this is massively overstated by most people. Like, usually the women end up winning the custody battles because they are the primary caregiver. They don't just have a look at the parents and go, okay, we're giving you custody. That's not how it fucking works. They ask questions like, what is the name of the child's best friend? What is this? What, blah, blah, blah. Like, they do things to ensure that the child is being given to the most appropriate parent. And most of the time, the mother ends up being the most appropriate parent. I'm not saying that there's no bias at all, that there probably is some bias. It's nowhere near the amount of bias that so many fucking people make it out to be. By the way, despite the minimal bias, the man was awarded the, most of the custody over this child, with her only being allowed to see them once every other week. And then here we go. In 2016, mother filed an intent to relocate to Alabama with her partner Taylor Dudley, now husband, and desired to take the minor child with her. In 2016, mother portrayed that this relocation would financially benefit the parties and the minor child so they could advance their careers. I've said this already, I'll say it again, you do not need to go to Alabama to advance your career. There was no reason in any of your videos. Alabama is not like a central part of any of your videos. You don't need to be there. Your influences, you can do it anywhere in the world. I don't buy this line of like reasoning at all. The courts denied this request to relocate with the minor child, and therefore she was rewarded with a long distance visitation schedule. While the mother resided in Alabama, she did exercise breaks and summers. However, it was father who facilitated visitation between the minor child and mother's family. Then, rather than relocating back to Oklahoma after completion of their education, mother and her husband relocated to Texas, where they have remained since. Mother and her husband have had the opportunity to relocate back to Oklahoma, however, have chosen not to. The minor child is not and has not been a priority for mother. And this isn't just the Dad Challenge podcast saying this without any sources or like an anonymous source that he won't state. This is a literal court document detailing all of this shit. So this is nowhere near as alleged as her cheating on her ex-husband, which, let's be real here, in all probability is fucking bullshit. A guardian at Lytton was appointed, and this has become a preference case that mother refuses to acknowledge. Mother is under the belief that the minor child only wants to remain in Oklahoma because of dance. However, this is simply not true and was put to rest by the guardian and Lytton. In fact, the guardian at Lytton will report to the court regarding the minor child, feeling as if she had to tell the mother what she wanted to hear, but heavily relied on the father to share her true feelings. Father is established in the area and is a caring, devoted, and loving father. He also has a child with a former significant other whom he has a wonderful co-parenting relationship with. Father has also been in a long-term relationship with blank, who has also had a child and a positive co-parent experiencing with her father and his wife. The minor child of this action considers these other children children's sisters, yet it is mother who makes it a point to correct her that father's partner is just a girlfriend and her daughter is not her sister. Yeah, I mean, this definitely does not paint a pretty fucking picture at all. Like, this is grim. You cannot act as though you're best friends with this daughter and that you have this great relationship when officially this is what's going on here. Thousands of people have tried to reach out to father via his former social media account, which he has had to disable due to the voluminous friend requests and messages of complete strangers. I mean, that's so concerning, man. You gotta feel for this bloke because, like, why even mention him at all? Why talk about these fights that you had and how, like, awful he was and how you just loved the daughter and shit? It's like, don't fucking mention it if it's this, you know, if it's this messy. It's not good for anyone in this situation, including you, because no one buys your shit. The truth is, they have the fucking money to do whatever they want and move wherever they want. They are making a killing on this social media shit. Viewers were offended when they found out about this daughter that she wasn't fucking telling anyone about, and then she masked it and softened it to be like, no, I was just protecting her. When in reality, she's the one with the platform here. The father does not want this fucking daughter or him to be on social media at all, so she has all the power to paint the picture to be whatever the fuck she wants it to be, what is most convenient for her and her brand and her husband. She has a platform to spin whatever narrative she desires about father and does not want the public to view the history of this case dating back to 2014. Thankfully, to this point, mother has not posted the child on TikTok. However, she has made posts of her on Instagram, which was previously private and now made public. The reason of which is likely due to her viewers believing she's hiding her daughter. So she basically succumbed to the pressure of people saying she was hiding her daughter, and she cared more about people's opinions of her and her daughter over the safety of her actual daughter, who does not want to be on social media. Mother contends there is minimal pictures of the minor child on this page, but does not acknowledge she posts the child on her stories and does Q&A with her fans regarding her daughter. Mother has recently blocked father and his family from this account in another act of deceit. I mean, how fucking bad is this gonna get? Like, this is pure, utter fucking insanity. Like, this is awful. Even these, like, legal proceedings are making the point of, like, don't put your kids on social media, man, especially if they don't want to be put on. They've made, like, it's one thing, the kids not having consent or not being able to understand why being put on social media might be a bad thing and being too young to actually consent. It's another thing of them still being a minor and explicitly saying, do not put me online, and still being put online. That's even worse. And it's even worse than something that is already fucking really bad. Mother is more consumed with her status as an influencer that she's disregarded paying attention to the minor child at a recent dance recital and took pictures and spoke with fans. I mean, there's so much. This could be the whole fucking video. In a quick social media search of mother, the minor child of this action pops up on online viewers. Complete strangers have used the photos of the child to make videos, sometimes with inappropriate music. No fucking wonder they do not want to be shown on camera. And by the way, that is also happening to the kids who apparently do not care about being shown on camera. And I believe that. They probably don't care about being shown on camera because they're fucking children and they don't understand what they're getting into. That's why you probably shouldn't be putting minors on camera as much as you are, despite them saying that they might want to be, because they're fucking children, and children are dumb. Sorry, children who may be watching this, but it's true. At the very least, they are inexperienced. We can agree on that one. I mean, it gets so much worse as well. Also worth noting, this is just a wee note at the end of it. It's not even like a big thing. But when you read this paragraph, it's like, no, this could have been the whole thing and it would have been fucking awful still. The mother asserts that father prioritizes the child's dance over mother's visitation, yet it is mother who was offered to swap weekends so dance would not be a conflict. Despite having the child's dance schedule up until recently, mother had attended only one recital. Father has dropped everything to ensure the child was with mother's family during a family loss, driving the child to, and as recent as November 2023. Father traded his Thanksgiving so the minor child could be with mother and the child's newborn sister. Mother refuses to acknowledge what father has done and attempts to do as far as co-parenting. Literally, why? Why do you want your viewers, why do you want your tens of millions of fans to believe that this father is a fucking deadbeat? People don't like you already, and they don't like that you're hiding the daughter. Surely the best thing to do would be to convince them that the daughter is okay, doing okay, has a good father. Like, what did you gain from telling everyone this father fucking sucks or is a deadbeat? It's disgusting. Child support is also an issue here. Okay, well, here we go. I'll read this all. Mother has attempted to secret her funds and transfer her digital assets to her husband. This action was initially transferred to blank from blank in May 2022, with full knowledge that a motion to modify would be forthcoming. Fucking slimy. Just days prior to the motion be filed, mother sold her digital assets on her social media to her husband for $0. What doesn't add up is that her husband allegedly works a full-time job, yet the parties post numerous reels per day, and Mother has indicated her role as the actor takes approximately 15 seconds, whilst her husband's role as producer is over 4 hours. Mother, also known as the artist, receives from her husband, the producer, anywhere from $100 to $500 per post. This entire agreement is a sham and an attempt to disguise her wealth and income so not to increase her child support. Mother has made it very clear she is only going to pay what is court-ordered, around $150 a month, but if the minor child lived with her, all her needs would be met. This is manipulation. I think it's more than manipulation. Manipulation is like putting it very lightly. It's fucking disgusting is what it is. Like, genuinely fucking disgusting. And the last bit here, the minor child has only known Oklahoma and is well established here in a loving home, and removing her from that would be detrimental. I think that case has been made very appropriate. So now we've just gone over the infantilization stuff, and we've also gone over the custody battle. I think the latter is a lot more serious an allegation than the former, but either which way, they have responded to both of these controversies, so let's have a look, shall we?
It's funny because I see a lot of people saying like, oh, they just post fetish content.
I see that.
And
It's
it's fetish. They think our content's fetish, and it's like really confusing.
I don't know if they mean fetish for women, like to have a perfect relationship, or
I
if
think they think
I
that.
don't know which one because they don't make it clear.
Yeah, you honestly, like, you do the most. I'm like, man, like watching some of your videos, I'm like, man, I definitely could.
It's just my love language, though.
What is your love language? Is what, being in love? Also, what the fuck is Matt talking about? He's sitting there watching their video. What a bunch of bullshit. There is no way Matt, the fully grown fucking man, adult man with 3 kids or whatever he has, is sat there on his phone watching K and Tay reel. Like, can you imagine any grown adult male like nearing their 40s? Maybe Matt is around 30, whatever, right? Any fucking developed man sat down watching that New York guy reel thing and like actually watching it all and going, oh, love this. I'm walking here.
Acting like a kid on purpose for some reason.
Yeah, that could be it too. They're not very clear.
Yeah, and
of course you're acting like a kid on purpose. Sorry, well.
Or it's that they think that I'm acting like a kid on purpose for some reason.
Yeah, that could be it too. They're not very clear.
Yeah, and
what do you mean for some reason? Obviously you're acting like a kid on purpose. The camera is right in your fucking face. You are acting, you are performing for the camera, and you have chosen to perform as a infantilized fucking child. You're shaking your arms around like a fucking baby bird. You're making strange baby voice noises thing. You're being deliberately quite like immature sounding and childish in your requests and intonations. So act as though you're not purposefully doing it. The camera is right there. It's not like this is a fucking secret hidden documentary on like animal life or anything.
Because we came from such broken relationships prior, I have opened myself up more with him. So I am able to have like, what would you call that? I don't know. When you are able to just act really happy and giddy and
bubbly. It's like when you
and
baby talk with your partner in private, or you like heighten your voice. Like when I'm talking to Ellie, my voice naturally goes up like 3 octaves. I don't think, I'm not like, I'm going to heighten my voice 3 octaves. It just happens.
Think about it. Yeah. It's just natural.
And so Kay just naturally lets loose and shows real emotions, and then people get upset, about.
They're like, this is clearly fetish content. And I'm like, are you joking?
Are you turned on
to
by
be
this?
able to think.
She's like eating a carrot cake.
I'm like, if your brain is immediately going to that,
That's what I say.
I'm worried about you.
Honestly, I think that's where a lot of the more negative comments probably come from. Is just
yeah. I mean, to be fair, I do agree with that. To call this fetish content is like insane. It's just weird, cringe, childish shit that isn't very funny, and is weird is the word to describe it here. Like, it's not fetish. Like, if you're watching that and some weird ingrained fetish within you is being like triggered in one way or another, I think that says more about you than it does them. So fetish, no. Weird and cringe, yeah. But you know what? Being weird and cringe isn't a fucking crime. There's a lot more in Kay and Tay's life that can be criticized over that.
Your bad situations, your own negative thoughts.
Yeah. Projecting. They're like projecting their own thoughts. And so I just kind of laugh about it, but it's just so funny that people go there. Yeah. I feel like for me, with the red flags that I should have seen were control. And so I wasn't allowed to have friends at all. Like, even though I wanted them and I wanted to go, we lived in my hometown. And so this
is her talking about her ex-husband, by the way, who we know a lot more about now that we've seen that court document. And this is her painting him out to be like an actual maniacal piece of shit, despite him being the father of her daughter. And despite from everything we've seen, him being the more responsible parent, hence him being given primary fucking custody.
Went to high school there, knew all these people, and I kind of like slowly was cut off from everybody. He didn't want me to go to college in my hometown as a community college because I might see boys that I went to school with. I didn't have access to our money up until he deployed because I had to have access to money at that point because he wasn't there. It's just a lot of control, and I don't know, obviously I think it stemmed from insecurities and him feeling like he would lose me, I guess. I tried to understand his thought process and why he was like that, but definitely you can't control your partner. You can't put restraints on their money, like not even having access to the cards so you can go grocery shopping or having friends or going out to eat. And if I did go out to eat, I would have to text him the whole time to make sure he knew I was not doing something.
Kind of thing. Or,
if I was going to hang out with somebody, I had to send pictures. I mean, it was like...
Now, this is the thing. It's like, he is not online. He does not have a platform to defend himself on. And for a lot of people saying like, oh, well, if it's not true, he should come out and defend him. It's like, no, that's not how the internet, that's not how world works. Some people are just generally normal, genuine people who do not want to be involved in any of this internet bollocks. That is most people. I feel like a lot of the people who are online and like watch TikToks and watch response videos constantly, it's so natural for them to just say like, oh, well, if they're getting accusations and you don't think they're true, then respond to it. Otherwise, I'm going to believe whoever made the fucking accusations. But no, you don't need to respond to everything, especially if you're not someone who's online. Like, imagine some random fucking bloke makes a TikTok account to respond to all this shit. It's like, no. I completely understand why he'd want to keep it private, even if he's potentially being slandered by his ex-wife. And according to that court document, this is complete and utter slander. Like, she's using her platform of tens of millions to shift and turn the story into, like, to paint the narrative in a way that favors her the most, when she knows he can't really defend himself. I guess it would be a lot more believable if she was also willing to admit to some of the things that she has done wrong regarding this child, but we never get any admission or accountability ever in any of these TikToks or stories. It's always, I'm the victim, I did nothing wrong, I'm the best, we are great partners, we're perfect for each other, we're perfect in every way, shape, or form, there's nothing you guys need to worry about regarding us, we are fucking godly demi-beings.
I will say the biggest misconception, and this is coming from like my mom's self, that I don't love my first daughter and that I'm hiding her.
Oh yeah.
That's probably the biggest misconception I can think of. Because I mean, it does hurt me. I think about it like every single day. Just the comments, like, they get to you when people start saying that, even though I know that that's not true. People from an outside perspective are like, well, she doesn't show her daughter, so she must not love her. I don't think these people understand, like, number one, my daughter is 12. She has a choice. If she doesn't want to be on our podcast, on her content, then I'm not going to force her to do that. Same with Ellie. Once Ellie's old enough to make that decision, like, I will never force my kids to be a part of this if they don't want to be.
Now, here's the thing. It's like, fair enough. Your kids don't want to be in the content, don't put them in the content. Sounds pretty fucking reasonable. But, as we all know from the document we just read, she has been putting her in the content, even if it is just, you know, stories or Instagram posts that are quickly deleted after, just to, I guess, silence the hate that she's hiding the child, which the perfect response to that would be, yes, I am hiding the child. Isn't exploitation of children the thing that you guys are all angry at me to begin with? Surely it's a good thing that I'm hiding the child, and it is. It's a stupid fucking criticism. There's nothing wrong with hiding your child from the internet. The internet is a fucking horrible place, especially for 12-year-old girls. You should probably take a note out of that book and hide your other fucking children a little bit more as well. If 12 is old enough to make the decision that she doesn't want to be on camera, why is 5 old enough to make the decision that you do want to be on camera? Surely they are not old enough to make a decision yet. Oh, fuck 5. What about 1 or 2? Or 6 months?
And she's at an age where, like, her friends follow us, and she's not probably particularly like interested in putting her life out there for all her friends to like dissect and be like, oh, I saw that you did this, you know, the other day or whatever. So I completely respect it and I understand. But, and you know, the other thing is her father doesn't want her on it for his own reasons, and that's his thing. So it's just, to me, like, just because we don't film her it has no relation like to how much we love her. Like, it doesn't make sense to me how people can't just understand, like, we don't post her for her.
Yeah, I would never air out that personal shit because her friends watch it, but at the same time, her father is this really controlling, manipulative piece of shit who used to fight me, you know, didn't let me go out, you know, controlled every aspect of my life, called me 900 times, literally stalked me and showed up outside of wherever I was. But I don't want to air out any personal shit because I respect that. I respect their privacy. Just shut up, lass. That was rude. That was a bit rude. And you know what? In fear of becoming ruder and saying some things that I might end up regretting, we are going to end the video. I know it was a bit of a longer one, but there was a lot to go over, to be fair. And if you agree or disagree with anything that I've said in this video, then genuinely feel free to let me know in the comments, because there was a lot of information. There's no way you agree with absolutely everything I've said. So whatever you disagreed with, let me know why, because I want to be challenged on shit like this. But more importantly, 300k by the end of the year, baby. That's what we're going for. Also, vlogs from America are still coming out on my second channel, Shepherd Boy. I couldn't upload them as frequently as I would like to because I was just so busy, but now that I'm home, I can, you know, edit them all up and put them out fairly frequently and get that all over with, and then use that channel for, I don't know, we'll figure out what the fate of Shepherd Boy is when we get to that bridge, eh? For now, though, as always, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a nice comment about Prince here. Prince, who is a little bit more awake now. Prince, look at the camera. Look at the camera, Prince. They want to see you. Okay, let me just try holding him. Yes, there you go. Lovely. He is the best. You know, he really missed us, this cat. 'Cause obviously, we were gone for like 2.5 weeks. He met one of his pals. He was on a play date for a long time. Loves other cats, actually. He's very good with other cats, which was a worry of ours. And the second we came back, he would purr so much easier, and he was so clingy. He always wants to be around us. I couldn't get him out of the room for this one. He was literally sat on our lap this whole fucking recording, listening to all this bollocks. And usually you'd have to, oh, he's grooming me now. Naz, get that. He was grooming me. I swear to God, he tried to groom me, and I interrupted him. But he, what? Come on. Do it. Okay. He's not a groomer quite yet. Maybe he needs to reach 1 million subs before he gets to that. But like, you used to have to pet him for a significant amount of time for him to start purring. Now, you just pick him up and he immediately starts purring because he missed us that much. Fucking adorable, innit? But, alright, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one, hopefully. So, yeah.